Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. My name is Nick Marro with Occupy Fantasy. You can find me on Twitter at Nick Marro DFS. I'm here today to help you break down this two-game NBA DFS slate for both DraftKings and FanDuel. As always, if you could, please like the video, also subscribe to the channel. That helps us climb those YouTube algorithms and get us more of this free content out to you. Also, if you're not already a member at Occupy Fantasy, I highly recommend you come and join us. There's links in the description of the video below. If you join today, you get access to the model you see here, where you can sort by ownership percentages, value for both sites, our own OF index. We also have a single lineup builder and multi-lineup builder available to you as well. We have a private Discord channel full of DFS pros to help you build and improve your game. And there is a 30-minute window leading up to each slate lock where we're answering lineup specific questions for you there. So yeah, just a two-game slate tonight, pretty straightforward. We do have injury reports for both teams. None of these teams seem to be on back-to-backs, which is a plus, makes things a little bit easier. But yeah, four teams, sorry, two-game slate, locking at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. So yeah, let's get into it here. Starting with the Spurs at the Pelicans. The Pelicans are 8.5-point favorites at home. Some big injuries for New Orleans here. So Brandon Ingram's out. He has been out for a while. But we also have Zion Williamson out tonight, and Larry Nance Jr. is questionable. So first and foremost, we're looking at the Pelicans, and CJ McCollum is probably the best play on the slate, hands down. He's going to be total chalk here. But with both Zion and Ingram out, he's going to dominate the usage. He's going to run the offense through him, and it's a plus matchup against a pretty soft defense. So CJ is excellent here. He's going to be extremely popular on both sites. Only 7,500 on DK, I believe 8,300 on FanDuel. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, 8,500. So a little bit more expensive on FanDuel, but on a two-game slate, I think he's kind of tough to get away from. He looks excellent here. Definitely keep an eye on the starting lineup. I imagine we see Trey Murphy, um, Herb Jones, and I mean those are the first two I'm really looking at: Trey Murphy, Herb Jones. Then if Larry Nance is out, I think Joe Val is going to be an excellent play again. Joe Val's coming off his best game of the season. I mean, ridiculous 73 fantasy points. We saw him go 18 rebounds, 37 real points, 5 assists, steal, a couple other counting stats. But yeah, I mean, Joe Val was amazing last time out. But what you have to keep in mind is that was with Larry Nance out of the lineup. These two typically split the center minutes. So if Nance is in tonight and Joe Val is going to be like 50, 60% owned like we're seeing him right now, I would rather go elsewhere at center. There are actually good center plays on this slate, even for a two-gamer. So if Nance is out, it's kind of tough to get away from Joval. I think you have to play him here. But if Nance is in and he's still going to be chalky coming off that huge game, that's one place you could definitely get a little bit different. Not that I would necessarily go to Nance here, but it's going to take me to the centers on the other teams and the other games. I do really like Trey Murphy. We saw earlier in the season with Zion and Ingram out, he had some pretty big games. He's been okay lately, but again, he hasn't seen the type of usage he's going to see here. Same for Herb Jones, kind of less of an offensive player than maybe Trey Murphy is, but we do see him with the blocks and steals and everything like that. So he's cheap, he's affordable. I do like Herb Jones as long as he starts. Then you're going to be looking at guys like Najee Marshall, Jose Alvarado. Alvarado hasn't been great. McCollum's going to be running the offense for the most part, so I don't know that I need to go there. If Dyson Daniels start, I don't mind him as a punt. But yeah, those two guards are just tougher for me to get excited about. I don't mind Najee Marshall, assuming he starts at the 3. Just keep an eye on that. If Marshall doesn't start, he's a lot riskier here. If he does, he's solid. But again, keep an eye on that lineup. It is the first game on the slate, so we will have that news. Just to quickly summarize, though, I love Joe Val here, but if Nance is in, you're probably going to want to go elsewhere at center. And then obviously, C.J. McCollum is probably one of the best plays on the slate. Then over on the Spurs side, we're seeing Jakob probable, Keldon Johnson doubtful, Charles Bassey is out, Romeo Langford also probable. Yeah, this one's a little bit trickier. Not too much though. I mean, first and foremost, with Keldon Johnson out, they don't play the same position, but you're going to see the biggest usage increase go to a guy in Devin Vassell, who I like a lot on both sides. I would be prioritizing him here. Jakob Poeltl hasn't been seeing the minutes consistently. listed as probable, but it's been a while since we've seen him get to 30 minutes. Yeah, since he's been back from injury, he hasn't really played more than 25. So he's an okay play, just not someone I'm really excited to get to. The second spur for me that I like is actually Trey Jones. Just a good guard. Whenever we get extra usage for him, that's certainly a plus. And then Zach Collins. I mean, obviously not the starting center, but with Keldon out of the lineup, he's going to get minutes at both the 4 and 5. We've seen him be productive consistently lately. He's even cheaper on DraftKings. So Zach Collins after Trey Jones and Devin Vassell is a spur I'd be prioritizing. Bates, Giop, or Richardson start. I think we could look to either for value. I think it's more likely we see rookie Jeremy Sochan start. Pretty fun player. I mean, the minutes aren't always there, but with Keldon out of the lineup, I think we could possibly rely on him here. On a slate where we don't have a ton of value, obviously it's only 2 games. I do like Sochan. Um, and then yeah, Charles Bassey, I'm not using him at all, so keep that in mind. He's actually on the injury report as out. I think they sent him down to the G League, so don't be fooled by those games he had earlier in the season where he was good. He's no longer even on the roster. So um, yeah, for me on the Spurs, it's really Devin Vassell first and foremost. I don't mind Zach Collins or Trey Jones as kind of secondary plays. But yeah, good game, solid game environment. Keep an eye on those starting lineups for those secondary value plays for sure. Moving into the second game on the slate, we have the Washington Wizards at the Utah Jazz. The Jazz are 6.5-point favorites at home, 229.5-point game total here. So another good game. I mean, for a 2-game slate, we are getting 2 games with solid totals, pacey teams, which is good to see. So on the Utah side, Colin Sexton is listed as questionable. Kelly Olynyk is out. With Olynyk out, we should see Walker Kessler once again start at center. Again, if Nance is in, then I would rather go to Walker Kessler at center. I think he's probably a better center play there. Um, if Nance is out, I do think it's going to be tough to get away from Joval, but at the same time, Kessler is a solid GPP pivot. We've seen Vanderbilt have some big games with Olynyk out of the lineup. He's very boomer bust. Probably the best play on the Jazz you're going to get is Lauri Markkanen. I like him a lot here. Solid play, both sides, nice upside. There's not a ton of like true pay up options on the slate. So once you get CJ in, you can kind of prioritize someone like Lauri and feel good about it. I do like him a lot. And yeah, I mean, if Sexton is back, that's going to cut into both Conley and Clarkson. If Sexton's out, I do think Conley and Clarkson are both fine. I mean, I trust Conley's minutes a bit more. Clarkson very scoring dependent, and the price is up, so I'm a little bit more hesitant to get to him there. But he's certainly a solid play. And then Malik Beasley, if he comes off the bench, I don't think it matters necessarily. He's an okay tournament flyer, but not someone I'm really rushing to get to. If I'm prioritizing anything here, it's Lauri Markkanen, regardless of whether or not Sexton's in the lineup, and then Walker Kessler is probably 1B for me here. I do like him a lot at his price. Then over on the Washington side, we have Kristaps Porzingis listed as questionable. This is obviously huge news. If he's out, it's going to be a major boost to both Bradley Beal and Kyle Kuzma. I'll click over to DK for this one. But yeah, if Porzingis is out, obviously Beal and Kuzma see a big bump in usage. Denny Avdija becomes an okay kind of mid-range option. Still no Delon Wright for the Wizards as it stands, so Monty Morris looks good. I don't mind him. The big piece with Porzingis, as far as value goes, we have to keep an eye on is Daniel Gafford. If Porzingis is out and Gafford starts at center, Gafford becomes maybe my favorite center play on the slate, regardless of whether Nance is in tonight. So yeah, I think on a 2-game slate, it's really tough to get different for dinner. For me, I think center's probably we're going to try to do that for the most part. We're seeing Joval right now owned at 60 and 50% respectively on the 2 sites. On DK, he'll be tougher to get away from when Dan's out because you do get the opportunity to use 2 centers. But on FanDuel, you only have 1. It's pretty easy to make that ownership pivot. I'd rather eat the McCollum chalk than the Joval chalk, especially coming off that ceiling game. But quickly sorting by index, which is mostly a weight of upside combined with price, we're seeing McCollum and Porzingis towards the top. No surprise there. If Porzingis is in, I will say this, though. It's tough to really pick between Beal, Kuzma, or Porzingis. I think they're all fine plays, but I wouldn't be prioritizing any of them individually. Beal has been good. Kuzma's been fine. Obviously, Porzingis probably is the highest ceiling. But with all 3 in the lineup, it's tough for me to want to pay $9K for Porzingis. So, yeah, really fun slate. If I had core plays right now, they'd probably be McCollum, Vassell, Walker Kessler. But definitely keep an eye on that news. That center spot is probably going to be vital tonight. But as always, my name is Nick Marro. You can find me on Twitter at Nick Marro DFS. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the video. Become a member at Occupy Fantasy today. And let's have some fun tonight. Make some money. Good luck, everyone.